Why truck drivers struggle with sleep disorders. What if every single night, no matter how long you spent in your bunk, you never actually got the sleep your body needed? You close your eyes, you log the hours, but the deep, restorative sleep that repairs your heart, regulates your hormones, and restores your brain, that sleep never fully arrives. For a significant portion of long-haul truck drivers, that is not a hypothetical. It is their biological reality every single night on the road, and the consequences reach far beyond feeling tired. They are quietly reshaping the health of an entire workforce, one broken night at a time. Why sleep is different on the road. Sleep is not just rest. It is an active biological process during which the body repairs damaged tissue, regulates critical hormones, consolidates memory, and resets the cardiovascular system. When that process is consistently disrupted, shortened, fragmented, or misaligned with the body's natural rhythms, the damage accumulates in ways that mirror the effects of serious chronic disease. For truck drivers, the sleep environment is uniquely hostile. The bunk, the schedule, the noise, the light, the irregular hours, and the occupational stress all conspire against the one recovery process the body cannot function without. The disorders driving the crisis. Sleep apnea, the most dangerous condition most drivers have never been tested for. Sleep apnea is the most prevalent and most underdiagnosed sleep disorder in commercial trucking. Conservative estimates place the rate of obstructive sleep apnea among long-haul drivers at between 25 and 40%, meaning potentially 1 in 3 drivers on the road is affected. Obstructive sleep apnea occurs when the soft tissue at the back of the throat collapses repeatedly during sleep, partially or fully blocking the airway. The brain registers the drop in oxygen and jolts the body just enough to restore breathing, sometimes dozens, sometimes hundreds of times per night. The driver rarely wakes fully. They simply never enter the deep sleep stages where real recovery happens. The health consequences of untreated sleep apnea are severe and well documented. It independently raises the risk of hypertension, heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. It impairs cognitive function, slows reaction time, and degrades judgment, the exact capacities most critical to safe driving. And because the condition occurs entirely during sleep, most affected drivers have no direct awareness of it. They experience only the downstream effects, waking exhausted, fighting fatigue through every shift, relying on stimulants to function, and attribute it to the job rather than to a treatable medical condition. Circadian rhythm disruption. When the body clock breaks down. The human body runs on a 24-hour internal clock, the circadian rhythm that regulates virtually every physiological process. Sleep and wakefulness, cortisol and melatonin release, body temperature, metabolism, immune function, all of it is timed and coordinated by this internal clock, which is primarily synchronized to natural light and darkness. Long-haul trucking systematically destroys that synchronization. Night driving, rotating schedules, irregular sleep windows, and sleeping during daylight hours force the body to operate in direct conflict with its own biological timing. The consequences go well beyond poor sleep quality. Chronic circadian disruption has been linked in research to increased cancer risk, accelerated cardiovascular disease, metabolic dysfunction, and immune suppression. The body is not designed to sleep at noon and drive at midnight on a rotating basis indefinitely. When forced to do so, every system that depends on the circadian clock for proper timing begins to drift out of sync, and the cumulative health cost is significant. Insomnia driven by stress and environment. Beyond diagnosable sleep disorders, a large percentage of truck drivers experience chronic insomnia, the persistent inability to fall asleep, stay asleep, or achieve restful sleep. The trucking lifestyle is saturated with insomnia triggers. Financial stress, time away from family, delivery pressure, and the psychological weight of constant responsibility keep the nervous system in a state of elevated arousal that is incompatible with the relaxed state required to initiate sleep. The physical sleep environment amplifies it further. Truck stop lots are noisy, brightly lit, and subject to constant movement. The bunk is small. Temperature regulation is limited. The cab itself is a functional workspace that the brain does not automatically associate with rest. Chronic insomnia is not simply a matter of not getting enough sleep. It rewires the brain's relationship with sleep over time, creating anxiety around bedtime, reinforcing wakefulness patterns, and making recovery increasingly difficult even when the opportunity for sleep exists. What this looks like on a real shift. A driver pulls into a truck stop at 3 a.m. after 10 hours behind the wheel. They eat a heavy meal, scroll their phone for an hour, and climb into the bunk. Noise from the lot, light through the windshield, and a racing mind from the shift make falling asleep difficult. They get 4 hours of fragmented sleep before a dispatch call or an alarm forces them back into the seat. They start the next driving window already in a cognitive hole, slower to react, less sharp in judgment, and running on stimulants that will make the next night's sleep worse. This pattern, repeated across weeks and months, is not just exhausting. It is medically dangerous, and it is the routine reality for a substantial portion of the long-haul workforce. What drivers can actually do? Get screened for sleep apnea. This is the highest priority action any driver with persistent fatigue, loud snoring, or unrefreshing sleep can take. Treatment for sleep apnea, particularly CPAP therapy, is highly effective and has been shown to dramatically reduce cardiovascular risk, improve cognitive function, and restore genuine sleep quality. Many drivers resist screening out of fear of losing their certification, but untreated sleep apnea poses a far greater risk to both health and career longevity than a managed diagnosis does. Protect the sleep environment deliberately. Blackout curtains or a quality sleep mask eliminate the light disruption that suppresses melatonin and prevents deep sleep. Earplugs or a white noise app reduce the ambient noise of truck stop lots. Keeping the bunk cool supports the natural drop in core body temperature that the brain requires to initiate deep sleep stages. These are not comfort upgrades. They are physiological tools. Build a consistent pre-sleep routine. The brain transitions into sleep more efficiently when it receives consistent signals that sleep is approaching. Avoiding screens for 30 minutes before sleep, keeping a consistent wind-down sequence, and reserving the bunk exclusively for sleep rather than entertainment all help recondition the brain to associate the bunk with rest rather than wakefulness. Manage stimulant timing strategically. Caffeine has a half-life of approximately 5 to 6 hours, meaning half of the caffeine from a coffee consumed at 6 p.m. is still active in the bloodstream at midnight. Cutting stimulant intake at least 6 hours before the intended sleep window significantly improves the ability to fall asleep and reach the deeper sleep stages where recovery actually occurs. Sleep disorders among truck drivers are not a side issue. They are a central pillar of the health crisis that shortens careers and lives in this profession. Sleep apnea affects potentially 1 in 3 drivers. Circadian rhythms are broken by years of night driving and rotating schedules. Chronic insomnia driven by stress and a hostile sleep environment. None of it is inevitable, and none of it has to be permanent, but it does require being taken seriously, not pushed through, not masked with caffeine, and not accepted as just part of the job. The body repairs itself during sleep. Protect that window, and everything else in your health gets easier to manage.